So I'm here with Megan from Abacus Bio in the next in our series of Back to the Future. So Megan, lovely to see you. Thank you for joining me today.
Thank you for having me.
Shall we start off by introducing yourself and Abacus Bio, please?
Yeah, sure. So my name is Megan Vasko. I am a program manager at Abacus Bio, meaning that I manage some of our large collaborations. I've got many years of project management experience, so in dynamic environments. So that's where I think I kind of help Abacus shine in this increasingly complex world. And next to that role, I'm always seeking out new partnerships with other organizations. So on the business development side as well.
And Abacus Bio, how long has the business been established?
So Abacus Bio has been around for almost 20 years. It started with 4 gentlemen down in New Zealand, very much on the animal side. And it's kind of grown and evolved quite a lot over that time. In the most past, 5 to 7 years, we've gotten really involved in the plant space. So that's one of the things we do as well.
Brilliant. So do you want to just give us the quick summary, the quick elevator pitch? So we're talking genetics, aren't we, for anybody who's keen to have a spoiler alert?
Indeed. Yeah, so Abacus Bio is a plant and animal genetics consultancy. It really exists kind of at the intersection of science and business. So we're a team of highly specialized professionals, but there's a lot of breadth in what we do. We have farmers that work with us, we have geneticists, we have economists, and the way that we serve our clients usually falls into one of 2 areas. Value chain consulting, and then the genetic improvement space, which you just alluded to there.
And can you give us some examples maybe of some of the tools that you have at your disposal around genetic improvement? Is it all about gene editing?
No, not at all. So there's, again, the breadth of what Abacus does is really large. So it's hard to kind of nail down, 1 or 2 things. But I think what we're known for is our selection indexes. So that's something that's been in Abacus, really from the start. And we've done, I think, a lot of pioneering in that area, particularly in the plant space. So I'll probably talk to that a little bit more later on. But that's one of the things we're known for, genetic evaluations at, from a national level to, private business level, genomics, building genomic pipelines, really, starting to get into the app world, and using all of this, sort of new data and tech we have at our disposal to kind of help streamline and improve agricultural operations in both the genetic side and otherwise.
Sure. So what would you say over the last decade would be some of the kind of game-changing technology developments in and around your space of genetics? And I guess following on from that, what do you think has made the biggest impact?
Yeah, so I think it might be worth caveating this with, I'm not a geneticist, but I have the pleasure and the privilege of working with really amazing geneticists across the board. So what I might say won't necessarily reflect, everybody's opinion. And part of that is because so many things have happened in the past 10 years. I think CRISPR is one of those things that's always going to come up in this space. It's not something that we work with specifically, but you can't mention genetics and the past 10 years without bringing that up. I think for me, the resounding theme that I've seen in the past 10 years is connectivity. So, it's hard to pick a single development, but when I look at that theme, it's like between IoT devices and precision ag devices, mobile technology, cloud computing, to the big data and bioinformatics that we're able to use in genetics now, that sheer access to information has forever changed how agriculture works in the genetic space and beyond.
Yeah, I mean, I remember when I started my career as a researcher, it used to be the job of months to sequence a gene. And I mean, now it's the job of hours to sequence entire genomes, isn't it?
Yeah, it's incredible. It's incredible what's happened in that space in a relatively short period of time, right?
For sure. Yes, I'm still very young, Megan. Thank you for pointing that out.
Naturally.
So turning to the future, what's the vision for the next 10 years? And I guess crucially, kind of who needs to do what for that vision to become a reality? We've got the Genetic Technologies Precision Breeding Bill, for example. So genetics seems to be quite at the forefront of policy making, but what's the vision and what needs to happen for it to become real?
Oh, that's a good question. I think sustainability is the thing that is on everybody's mind, right? You can't go anywhere without having sustainability come up in the genetic space and in agriculture. Abacus is a consultancy, so we're not sort of as product driven as other companies, but as recently as last week, we launched our plant sustainability index methodology, which, like I said earlier, is something that I think Abacus has really been quite pioneering on, is, taking things that are traditionally used in the animal world and bringing them over into the plant space. So for anyone in that genetic improvement space, you'll be familiar with selection indexes. For anyone who's not, these are tools that are underpinned by mathematics, genetics, and typically economics that basically help rank and select individuals, plants or animals, for breeding purposes. And the methodology we just launched is specifically about creating sustainability indexes for plants. And this means considering areas of sustainability like acidification, fresh water use, land use, greenhouse gases, a whole range of things, because that's, I think, going to be one of the tricky things going forward, is getting some sort of alignment or agreement on what sustainability kind of is and means, because it means a lot of different things to different people. This methodology really allows sustainability to be considered in 4D. So, and then simplified to a single value to help support these decisions that are made for future plants and then the future of our planet. So that's where I see it going. And again, I'm thinking from the genetics space, but again, sustainability is coming up in every area of ag. So that, I think, is what's going to be the focus.
Brilliant. And I guess in the animal space, particularly trying to identify genetic traits that might affect greenhouse gas emissions in cattle, things like that. Is that all part of that conversation?
Oh, 100%. Yeah. I mean, we've been doing a lot of work in the methane space with the Global Methane Hub. And, I guess kind of accepting where we're at as sort of a society. People aren't going to stop eating meat. So let's work with, what we have and make it better, rather than trying to, change some fundamental concepts of how we live.
Sure. And I guess because of what you do, that would be information that would go to a breeder, would it? So actually, have you got any regulatory constraints on adoption of your technology and your approaches by your customers?
So the work that we do, you mentioned gene editing earlier. We don't really do gene editing ourselves. We don't do lab work. It's very much on the quantitative side. So it's sort of using a lot of big data to inform those quantitative genetics and kind of just amplify traditional breeding practices and make sure those are underpinned by that data. I don't really anticipate regulatory issues for what we do. I think the biggest challenge to adoption is really, especially in the sustainability area, there's many ways to quantify things, and you can quantify things in a more tangible way by thinking of like benefit to a farmer or cost to a farmer. I think what's harder to quantify, or what's harder to make, it can be quantified, but it's less tangible, is really this cost to society. And I think in that space, there's sometimes a failure of policy in the market to reward practices that are a benefit to society, because it can't be quantified in a way that is, I don't know, that we're more used to, I suppose. So that, I think, will be the biggest challenge.
That's a great point, Megan, and what success looks like and how you quantify it. And this whole conversation about societal benefits and what the return on investment is a really interesting one that, even nature, in inverted commas, we haven't really got a handle on what the value of that is, in whatever way you wish to measure it. So, okay, that's very interesting. So going forward then, Abacus already obviously has a global presence and a leading role in this space. What's the vision for the future for Abacus Bio?
What I'm going to say might sound a little bit boring, but I think Abacus is just going to keep doing what we've been doing for the past 20 years. And that's really empowering our clients with science and business intelligence to grow more food, more resources for a more sustainable world.
That's not boring at all. If you've got something that really works, then keep doing it. And I think we always say that agricultural innovation has traditionally been built on 3 pillars of machinery, chemistry, and genetics, and none of those are going away. And I think thanks to what Abacus Bio can do, the genetics is poised to be even more powerful with the data analytics, AI, and the contribution that you're making. So the future is really very bright.
We hope so.
Megan, great to talk to you. Thank you so much, and we'll see you again soon.
Likewise. Thank you.